Most people believe that feeling rich is the same as being rich. If the paycheck is higher, if the lifestyle looks better, if the outside looks successful, then everything must be fine. But that feeling rarely lasts. Because what most people don't realize is that money has a strange effect on perception. The more you earn, the faster your expectations grow, and what once felt like freedom slowly becomes normal. The upgrade you dreamed about becomes routine. The comfort you worked for becomes a requirement, and the pressure to maintain that lifestyle quietly increases. That's when something subtle happens. You start earning more, but feeling no safer. You have more, but worry just as much. And without noticing, you begin chasing a version of wealth that never truly satisfies. In this video, we're going to explore why this happens, why so many people fall into this trap, and how understanding this difference can completely change the way you think about money. For a long time, people have been taught to measure success by what they can show: a nicer car, a bigger home, a more comfortable lifestyle. And slowly, this idea becomes normal. We start believing that progress means upgrading everything around us, that earning more should automatically lead to spending more, that comfort is the ultimate goal. But very few people stop to ask an important question. What happens when the lifestyle grows faster than financial freedom? Because while income can increase quickly, peace of mind often doesn't. And when spending rises at the same pace as earnings, something subtle happens. You look successful, but feel dependent. You appear stable, but have little margin. This is where many people get stuck, not because they fail, but because they confuse comfort with security. In this video, we're going to explore why this happens, why it's more common than most people realize, and how understanding this difference can completely change the way you think about wealth. One of the most misunderstood ideas about money is the belief that earning more automatically brings freedom. At first, it feels that way. Your income increases, bills feel lighter, life becomes more comfortable. But comfort has a quiet way of changing expectations. What once felt like progress slowly becomes normal. The apartment feels small. The car feels outdated. The lifestyle that once felt exciting becomes the new baseline. And without noticing, spending rises to match income. This is where many people get stuck. They're not irresponsible, they're not careless, they're simply adapting, the same way humans always do. The problem is that adaptation works in both directions. As income grows, so do obligations. As comfort increases, tolerance decreases, and soon the freedom money was supposed to bring begins to disappear. What looked like success on the outside turns into pressure on the inside. Because when every upgrade becomes necessary, nothing feels optional anymore. True wealth doesn't come from how much you earn. It comes from how much space you leave between what you earn and what you spend. That space is what creates control. That space is what creates safety. And without it, even high income can feel fragile. This is the moment when people realize earning more is not the same as being free. One of the most dangerous habits people develop with money is tying their sense of security to a lifestyle. At first, it feels harmless: a better apartment, a nicer car, more comfort. But over time, that comfort turns into obligation. The problem is not enjoying nice things. The problem is when those things become necessary to feel okay. When that happens, freedom quietly disappears. Because now your income isn't just supporting your life, it's protecting an image. Every bill matters more. Every expense feels heavier. Every unexpected event becomes stressful. And slowly, the pressure builds. This is why so many people with high incomes still feel trapped. They don't lack money, they lack flexibility. They can't slow down, they can't take risks, They can't say no. Real wealth works in the opposite direction. It reduces pressure instead of increasing it. It creates space instead of obligation. It gives you the ability to make decisions calmly, not desperately. And that difference between pressure and peace is what separates those who look successful from those who actually are. There's a moment in life when people begin to realize that money alone doesn't bring calm. It happens quietly. You reach goals you once dreamed of, but the sense of relief never really arrives. Instead of peace, there's a new level to maintain, a new standard to protect. And this is where the difference between financial success and financial freedom becomes clear. People who understand money deeply don't chase appearances. They focus on flexibility. They value the ability to slow down, to choose, to walk away. They don't measure success by what others see. They measure it by how little stress money causes in their lives. Because real wealth isn't about luxury. It's about control. Control over time. Control over decisions. Control over how much pressure you allow into your life. When you stop trying to look rich, something powerful happens. You begin to build margins. You create space. You give yourself room to think long-term. And that's when money stops being a source of anxiety and starts becoming a tool. Not to impress others, but to support the life you actually want. That shift from appearance to intention is where real wealth begins. Most people spend their entire lives chasing the feeling of being ahead. They work harder, they earn more, they upgrade everything around them. And yet, the feeling of security never really arrives. Because real wealth doesn't come from having more, it comes from needing less. It comes from understanding that freedom is not about what you can buy, but about what you no longer depend on. When you stop trying to impress, you start building stability. When you stop comparing, you start making better decisions. And when you stop measuring success by appearance, you finally create space for peace. This is the quiet truth about money that most people never learn. Wealth grows slowly, silently, almost invisibly, not through big moments, but through small, consistent choices made over time. If this perspective helped you rethink the way you see money, there's much more like this throughout the channel. Here, we talk about building wealth calmly, thinking long-term, and making decisions that actually support the life you want. So if you want to keep learning how to think differently about money, how to avoid common financial traps, and how to build real freedom over time, subscribe to the channel and continue this journey with us. Because real wealth isn't about what you show, it's about what you keep.